let's look here. This isn't a great picture here, but what you're looking here is the lumen here. Okay, so this lining the lumen is all mucosa, or mucous membrane. Notice that it's broken down into villi. These are those finger-like projections of mucosa that extend into the lumen. And if we look closely at the surface of the mucosa lining the villi, this is a simple columnar epithelium. So simple columnar, the connective tissue deep to it makes up the lamina propria. Okay. So these villi are simply cut off from their base simply because of the plane of section, the way the tissue was cut. But if we come down from the base of the villi, you can see that these simple columnar cells are invaginating down, forming crypts of Lieberkühn within the lamina propria. So let's move around and take a look at this. Okay. This is all part of the mucosa here. These are all crypts coming all the way down to this point here, and then this layer of tissue right here is the muscularis mucosa. Okay. Now, you see this fold here within the mucosa and submucosa. What is that fold of tissue called? Plica circularis. P-L-I-C-A. Plica with an A, singular. If we wanted to make it plural, we'd add an E with plicae. It's this fold of tissue here. Okay? In other words, it's not like this, it's coming up like this, forming a circular fold, a speed bump, if you will. So that's a plica circularis. This lighter staining tissue here is part of the submucosa. This would be muscularis externa over here. We're looking at low power, okay? But even at low power here, I can tell that within the submucosa there are glands. Okay, when I see glands like these are lighter staining glands here, light pink, we call this eosinophilic. And they're producing an alkaline mucus. What's the name of these glands within the submucosa? Brunner's glands. So when I see Brunner's glands, then I know that this segment of the small intestine is the duodenum. Now, the algorithm that goes through my mind is this, is that once I see a mucosa lined by a simple columnar epithelium that possesses villi, I know I'm in the small intestine. Okay? Then I'm going to look down into the submucosa to find out what part. If I see Brunner's glands, it's finished. It's the duodenum. Okay? Now, if I go below that, this is all muscularis externa. In a circular, this is the outer longitudinal part coming at you. Let's go back here. If I look closely at these villi, let's go higher power. Not a very pretty columnar epithelium, that's what something would say. Not as pretty as I would like. Let's see if I can find a good section. Right here. This is a simple columnar epithelium. These are intraepithelial lymphocytes. These are lymphocytes that have come up from the lamina propria here, and they're superimposed. So these rounded cells are lymphocytes. They're not part of the epithelium. Whereas these oblong nuclei belong to the simple columnar epithelium. There's a brush border here, but because the tissue isn't really nice, this isn't well defined, you don't see it as well as I'd like you to see it. And then this would be a goblet cell, this would be a goblet cell. Let's look at other parts now. Okay, so this slide has 3 parts of the small intestine on it, so I'm gonna have to move the slide to find the other ones. Not over there. Oh, here's it, okay. Now already I'm seeing real tall, straight, densely packed villi. I get the feeling that this is gonna be the jejunum.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Now, if this is the jejunum, what we're seeing here is the villi, this is the surface of the mucosa here, everything below is crypts of Leberkuhn, surrounded by lamina propria. Okay? Right around here is gonna be the muscularis mucosa, below it, submucosa. Now what I'm gonna look for is there any distinguishing characteristics in the submucosa? Do I see runner's glands or Peyer's patches?
Mm-mm.
I do not. So that means that this has to be the jejunum. Let's look at the villi a little bit closer. Oh, this is a prettier epithelium. You see the submucolunar epithelium with goblet cells. Can you make out this brush border here?
Yes.
Yeah, that's characteristic of the small intestine. It increases surface area for absorption. Notice that the lamina propria has lots of cells in it. It has lymphocytes. It has, some of these are fibroblasts, these long oblong ones like this one here and this one here. You can also find some smooth muscle cells typically. So for instance, this is a smooth muscle cell, this is a smooth muscle cell, okay? Now, if I would ask on an exam, what is this structure, what is this structure, and what is this structure? Those are crypts of Leberkuhn, intestinal glands within the small intestine. They're producing secretions that are what? Coming up into the lumen. You see that? Okay? So they empty into these spaces between the villi. Okay? These are mostly absorptive cells. That's the purpose of the small intestine, absorb, and some of them produce some mucus secretion, particularly goblet cells. Okay? Now, the submucosa has denser connective tissue here. This almost looks denser regular here. Okay? There's a thin layer of muscularis mucosa. This is all smooth muscle. Okay? This is inner circular all the way to here. This is going to be outer longitudinal. Now, this is the jejunum, by the way. So, let's go high power and look at the outer surface. There's a simple squamous epithelium right here. That's a squamous cell, that's a squamous cell, that's a squamous cell, this is a squamous cell. That makes the mesothelium of the serous membrane. Remember, the mesothelium is a simple squamous epithelium that lines the serous membrane. Specifically though, this is part of the visceral peritoneum. The visceral peritoneum. What is this structure right here, by the way? Anybody know what this is? This is a blood vessel. It's lined by an endothelium, another simple squamous epithelium, and then inside this is all blood, red blood cells. Some of them are ghost tissues dead. The blood is coming in from the outside through the mesentery. And it's traveling toward the mucosa. All right, so then let's go further. Here's another part of the small intestine. Okay, again, some of these villi are broken down because of plane of section, not catching the entire structure. Well, look here. This is within the submucosa. You're finding here's a lymph follicle, here's a lymph follicle. Okay, some of these lymph follicles are extending up toward the surface. You see these?
Ileum.
Okay, when you see lymph follicles within the submucosa, those are Peyer's patches. So after we've gone through the algorithm where we say, okay, it's simple plumbar epithelium with goblet cells, mucosa is thrown into villi, this is small intestine. We look down into the submucosa and we see Peyer's patches, aha. This is how we identify it as ileum. It's like if you're Brady, okay? And you go, what class, what grade are you in, Brady? You're in 7th grade? Okay, so you go into your 7th grade class and you see a pretty girl. What's a pretty girl's name in your class? Any of them. Right, this is the safe class. Yeah, there's gotta be a girl. Do you have any girls in your class? All right, we'll give it a name of one of the prettier ones.